A very, very warm good evening, a warm welcome. This is Onawa Chaudhary. It is Monday, April the 21st, 2025. You're live on my YouTube channel, arunfoot. And the start is always, if you like what you're hearing, what you are being part of as discussions, or maybe listening to it later on, do leave a like behind, share it with other people. And let's keep on growing the arunfoot, the Indian football community here. And therefore, to you, those of you following the channel, thanks a lot for that. So therefore, let's get into this. Sterling had a few early questions. What thoughts on Nilanjan Datta? He gives explosive interviews, blasting effort, but is he a clean man? Sterling Nilanjan, as far as I know, yes, is a clean man. Explosive interviews, I don't know. I don't know if those are the explosives, because most of the facts that Nilanjan speaks about are not explosive to me. A lot of the stuff is sort of information that I would have known about or know about. So therefore, again, can be seen like this, can be seen like that. But important is that we speak about the things that are happening about Indian football. Nilanjan has seen a lot of things, and therefore, at this moment in time, let's wait and see what happens. And it is as it is, I would say, at this moment in time. FC Goa were dominant today, great team codes as well. Sterling, I think today proves the point why FC Goa said, you know what, we are banking on Ika Goruchina. We don't want a striker like Armando Sadiku. I think that is, also a proof today why they wanted or did this, most probably in the interest of the team. And 3 goals from Ika just proves the point that the importance that he can have for the team. And Ika Goruchina, what a performance once more from him. And I'd say he's once more proven why I also said that that I've been liking the way that he's playing, and if I look at him, I would have, as I say, I would have loved him to stick back at Mumbai City. What is the rule regarding name of teams in ISL? Are individual and corporates not allowed to be in the name? Can Churchill Brothers use the name in ISL? Sterling, that's a good question. In regard to Churchill Brothers, I don't know. Corporate names are not allowed. So therefore, we've had Round Glass Punjab being renamed to Punjab FC. It'll be interesting to see what happens. Let's say if a Dempo gets promoted, if would be a question, but otherwise, no, team names are not allowed. Individuals, I'm not sure, but let's see if that is a conversation that will be had around the Super Cup. What's your opinion on 6 foreigners rule in Super Cup? Sterling, I think this is something that the AIFF, trying to convince the teams to play in the Super Cup. That's why they're allowing the 6 foreigners. It's okay. We saw last season that if you are, last season as well. So therefore, 6 foreigners is always better than 4 in the sense of that the quality would be better. But we're seeing that most teams either are carrying injuries to certain foreigners, or certain foreigners are not fit or have been released. So that will be very interesting to see. What does the new constitution really mean to football? Is it just a loop of the old one? Renner, the new one is supposed to be a step ahead for the federation, or for the federations, because I think the government has been trying to implement a few things, but again, I think it still violates a few things, in my opinion, and therefore I'm always very, very careful on that front to say. But I feel that there are issues in there which needs to be addressed, which have not been addressed by the federation, and and therefore it is I don't know. It has certain points which I would have worded and done differently. Do you think if PP was still AIFF head, the MRA would have been signed by now? Yes, I think so. Yeah. So, yeah, because he knew the people working under him knew the value of the MRA to the AIFF, and Professor Patel would be also a person who would have known that it is not easy to get money into the Indian football system. So that's also a reality which we have to speak about. And to me, it is a problem. But that's So therefore, these are the things. Seems like Uzbeks will overtake Iran in coming days. Brenner, easy to say. Uzbekistan will have to perform consistently for the next 10 years, and that is going to be the challenge, I think, for them. If they can do that, then we can talk about it. To say that that they're going to overtake them is easy. It looks like it at the moment, but that it would happen, I think. Let's wait and see what happens. Punjab did a good job. I hope they win the Super Cup and qualify for ACL too. Yeah, leading at the moment 3-0 now. Nihal Sudesh now with a goal. Great individual goals or team goals from Azmi Suljic, Pulga Vidal, and now Nihal Sudesh. And that to me is an upset. Would have thought that Odisha would be stronger, but let's wait and see. But this looks a surprising result coming up. Shreen says ISL looks like a gone case for now. Expecting ISL level tournament from AIFF itself is like expecting an ant to carry an elephant's corpse. Wow. Hard one, Shreen. But I understand where you're coming from. Because and this is the level that we would get if the ISL wasn't there. I think something that needs to be very, very clearly understood by people. Hi Utsav, hi Blue, welcome back both of you. Sir Ranjit says Intercash need to sort Baku controversy. Only then they could go to CAS. How much truth does it hold? What is this? It's nothing. He's trying to create narratives and people are falling for it. That's the real problem of the whole thing. That there is, whatever has happened, and it is shocking to see that we're even talking about things, that we're even giving space to these topics is a problem. I honestly don't know why we are in this discussion at all, because anything that he says seems to be a lie at this moment. I'm sorry to say that. Do you think Anwar is nowhere near what he was last season performance? Yes. I think the injuries, of course, is a factor. I think after injuries, the whole case is also not helped Anwar. I think that it has harmed him, and another thing that we don't talk about, how old is Anwar? Heart problem on top of that. I think there's a lot of issues. Barco controversy has nothing to do with anything. It's not even a controversy. Barco was a player of Intercashi. He was registered with the club. They, due to certain issues, released another player. He was still part of the squad, and then they re-registered him. I don't know what the problem is. It has happened in the ISL as well with certain players in the past. If Judge were promoted to ISL, then CAS gave decision in favor of Intercash, how will give to it? Sachin, that will not happen. So Churchill Brothers getting so let's start from the beginning. At this moment in time, the AIFF has said that Churchill Brothers are champions of the I League, right? That's the status quo of the whole situation, and so that's a given fact. But as per the rules of the competition, the only next authority that you can go to, and this is an interesting one that we need to remember, if Namdhari, if Churchill, if Ranjit or anyone goes to a Delhi court or whatever court, High Court, Supreme Court, that is not allowed by the rules of the competition, right? So if we see that, then we are in a situation of what's the next step? Now, as they've gone to CAS, FSDL is aware of it. FSDL will not announce anything in regard to final promotion before it's clear. And Churchill Brothers on the other side also need to prove that they have the finances of 100 crores bank guarantee to be able to play ISL. Because the Mohammedan situation is at the moment, as we speak at this moment, Mohammedan Sporting are not part of the ISL. I don't know if you're aware of that. But on the other side, if we want to take a bigger picture, at the moment, there is no ISL next season. Right? So AIFF doesn't care about rules and regulations. FSDL does. Reliance does. And they're aware of all of this. So let's see what happens. Tomorrow, another drama coming. No, Vignesh. There's at least another round or two of hearings. There is no decision coming tomorrow. And why High Courts and Supreme Court judges are hearing footballing matters? Is it not third party? Yes, it is, because nobody has, again, a lawyer at some stage needs to go to them and say, sir, with all due respect, or ma'am, whoever is sitting in the chair, this is not in your jurisdiction. And just show them the rules and regulations, which is not being done. That's the whole problem. Punjab played well. Yes, they did. So the Inter-Kashik verdict was a sham. So if you can emphasize on the consequences, what Inter-Kashik can bring to these clubs and AIFF using us. Yuvraj, the situation as it stands at this moment is that CAS will hear the case, first of all. And if we see how the AIFF has handled the matter, then you will see that the AIFF has not really kept its own, tournament rules in mind, right? So the question is, the appeals committee is going to get in trouble because questions are going to be raised about how did they come to this verdict. That's the first point. The second point is the AIFF will be questioned. Well, Namdhari, of course, are going to be dragged into this. Namdhari will incur costs, I think, which Namdhari will not be happy about, right? So therefore, for me, these are the basics. And then I think the matter then also goes to FIFA, because FIFA will also start questioning and say, guys, what's happening in Indian football, right? So therefore, that's the danger I see for this whole system that is there with and then when they dig deeper, the AIFF get in trouble, right? And then a lot of people will get in trouble. That's the simple summary of the situation. We have been living in a, I would call it wild, wild west, where people have been able to get away with a lot of things, and that you can do it maybe within India. You can get away with jugaad and with cheating and this and that and everything. With Cassie will not be. Both finalists are out from Super Cup. Yes, Blue, that is certainly a fact. By the way, only 25 lakhs of Super Cup OEC teams are interested. Blue, it's again, I don't think teams play for the money, right? Because then most of the teams don't earn money from winning prize money. Will you think Nora sign another one-year contract at bench for SL2? Not sure, Sachin, what they're going to do next season. Again, about him, if he's smart, he goes to a club where he's going to play, right? Hi, Gulzari. Do you think the reason the decline of no? No? Yeah. The point is, there are, I think, 2 or 3 points. The boy was talented to a certain level, right? But he was never what he's been made to be, right? And therefore, someone yesterday told me he's India's best centre back. I said, when was he India's best centre back? Right? Sandesh Chingan has always been around for the last few years. So he was never the India's best. He was one of the best, but he was never the best. And that's something, this whole scenario, injuries, again, that Anwar is playing, that is the first question that should be asking, right? If Mumbai City FC say, you know what, the player is not fit to play, I don't discuss it. I take it as granted that if Mumbai City FC say that the player is not fit to play, that to me means there is something. And that was a few years ago. Good evening, Dark Knight. Scooter leading us to another FIFA ban. Yuvraj, potentially, yes. And he doesn't care. In fact, he says Namdari wasn't at fault because they asked the AIFF and the match officials didn't have any record. Utsav, the problem here is very, very simple. It is always on you. And the match commissioner, does he have all the facts? I'm not sure. Right? If it's not in the AIFF CMS system, CRS system, the match commissioner's data is wrong. It will automatically be wrong. Yeah. So therefore, for me, mistake done, and they should have checked with another higher authority because it is your fault. I go back. I've made this example. I've made that example with Nikhil Sanelka now multiple times. He had a Premier League ban. I got him cleared by the AIFF, but in the end, we didn't play him because we knew that we would get in trouble with FIFA and the Premier League because if we play him, right? So therefore, yeah. Dark Knight agrees with Yuvraj. Second, explain how the yellow card and suspension works. It's a very simple. You accumulate 4 yellow cards and you're suspended for a match. You get a straight red. Then the yellow card which you get in the game is also counted. If you get a yellow and red, so you're getting 2 yellows, then that first yellow doesn't go to the count of the overall yellows. A letter is about to be out seeking suspension of relegation from I-League. Yuvraj, again, isn't that the whole game plan here? That relegation is put out so that Delhi FC stays in the league? That's the whole game plan, isn't it? What is the latest of PI OCI footballers in Indian national team? Akum, there is no latest. Yeah. If Mountain Sporting is closed, then both club can be promoted to ISL. No, Sachin, that's not the case. They're not going to promote 2 clubs. I don't understand why some teams want 16+ team league. We are nowhere near to have a 16+ league, and the Pan India things haven't done anything better for us. A 10-team league with 12+ team to second tier is best. Yeah, that's what I think. Agreed or no? I've been saying this for a while. A 10-team league is more suitable to our needs, our desires in Indian football than a league with 13, 14, 16 teams. There needs to be a rework, in my opinion, in regard to the roadmap that was done in 2017-18, maybe a second edition, and that needs to look at certain things maybe in a different way. Right, more than 20 minutes of this live. Those of you who are watching, you're liking the content. You're happy to be here. If you leave a like behind, 9 likes so far. Thank you as always for your support. And if you want to have others the opportunity to join our conversations, share it with others, and of course, subscribe to the channel for more content. We crossed the 2,500 mark yesterday. Thank you for that. And also, if you want to watch the short videos that I do on a regular basis, I did something yesterday on the Churchill Brothers versus Interkashi case. Today I did something in Indian football. Where's the accountability, ethics, and moral in the game? And as always, when you have a little bit more of a philosophical, a critical video, not many people are watching it. So do share it, because I think it's very, very important that we talk about it. Now that Punjab FC deserves the win today fully. Punjab FC will promote the reserve team players, integrate them slowly. Probably keep getting so these players are playing in the starting 11. Yeah, they're playing today, but when push comes to shove, they will look to see who they're playing, how they're playing, why they're playing, right? So therefore, they're doing it. They're not doing it because they want to do it. I think, Kumar, that's also a nice story that Punjab has been selling all of us. I know that they had to play certain players because of injuries and other problems and because of fitness issues. I would like to know about your injustice report you did for champion announcement, as whatever happened in the appeal committee, good, bad, certainly we'll find, because but status quo, Churchill Brothers are champions. That's the status quo of the AIFF, right? And the status quo, to me, doesn't mean that if something is wrong, I'll say that the status quo is right. Churchill Brothers are not champions of the league, period. And so therefore, for me, whatever's happened is shambolic. It shows you that there is no integrity left in the appeals committee. I think the appeals committee needs to be, called out. And so therefore, for me, now forcing Ranjit has gotten away with a lot of things because never anyone wants to go to CAS, because going to CAS is a lot of money spent, right? On these European lawyers. They're not these 5 rupee lawyers that you get in India and then you put in a case. No. This is something where you have to really spend money, right? And these CAS lawyers are experts. And therefore, these people don't even know what they got themselves into. And they've picked in the owners of Interkashi, the wrong one to fight with, because they will take this to the end. Sir, expecting rationality from Ranjit is like expecting an eucalyptus forest in Sahara. You won't find either, ever. Yeah, Yuvraj, nice one. Very, very nice one. At least you should congratulate Churchill Brothers for now with an asterisk if proved in CAS. No, I don't. Why should I? If it's fraud, it's fraud, right? So and it's wrong, it's wrong. Yeah. For me, I would love to both Interkashi and Churchill Brothers in ISL if they have money guarantee. See, and that is something which I don't think is going to work. But anyway, this is Indian football, right? This is how far we've come, right? That people like you think that it would be good to have Churchill Brothers in the ISL. Then you know that, sorry, then we're not on the same planet at this moment. How long will AIFF dramas be available on the FSTL? Vignesh, I think I said that yesterday on the show. If I was anyway involved in FSTL, and even if I had a job at FSTL, I would advise my management, you know what? You have a contract running until the end of the year. You've got a little over 8 months to go. Let this contract run out and just get out and get away. Right? Because this is yeah. This is not even a joke anymore. How do you explain Ishan Pandita's decline? He was on fire at Goa, but now every single coach doesn't give him any game time. Sterling, at Goa, he was a super sub. He was even a super sub for India. At Jamshedpur, a little bit of a super sub. It didn't work out. And at Kerala Blasters, injured also. And I think wrong decision looking at the strikers and how the Blasters play. And so injuries and wrong decisions in regard to signings, that sums up, right? When Cheddar Brothers withdrew, sir, I talked to a club person that why don't you guys go and play Super Cup since there is a slot empty, at least try. They said, itne mein hamari saal bhar ki player ki salary lag jayegi. So the translation is they will need their salary, to play at this tournament, the whole year salary again to play them in this tournament. So the ID clubs do tournament starting to the end. They don't do yearly, and a lot of clubs don't do yearly tournament. And this is a big problem in Indian club football as well, right? Not forget that. It goes down to the lower levels. East Bengal whole team seems to be so bad, especially mentally. The players look down. Anwar doesn't seem to be his best. Mike, I said at the start of the season, on paper, East Bengal looks, that this is a good team on paper. But to me, at the end of the day, it wasn't a good team. And I know Oscar a little bit as a coach. So for me, it's very, very clear if you look at the whole scenario that this team is not a team. I've seen also, especially behavior from Diamantakos is just unacceptable. Clayton Silva over the top. Hector used to, in certain matches, save them, but in other matches, you see just he's getting old. Sal Crespo too, injury prone, and our wingers are just a waste, right? So what is left? Jeekson nowhere near his best. You mentioned Anwar. Prabsukan, sometimes you don't even know what he's doing. He's off his line. But again, some of these keepers have been rather lucky than good. So Arun bhai, namaskar. Did Namdhari FC really pitch an illegal player? What's it? Yes, it did. 4 yellow cards. We don't need to discuss. Notes to myself. They did. And to add to that, Sterling, no, they don't have it in writing from the AIFF that they're allowed to play silver. So therefore, I'm saying they asked the match commissioner. So this is a verbal communication. Even if the match commissioner allowed them to play, it is your job to check with the higher authority. How difficult, sorry, I've been trying to explain this now for the last 2-3 weeks. How difficult, guys, is it to understand that there are chains on how to do it. If these people are incapable of doing that, then please do not work in Indian football. My simple summary. These guys tried to cheat. That is, at the end of it, that is what has been caught. They will have known. If they have not known, then they're unqualified. Then they shouldn't be there where they are. Very, very simple, right? Whoever is taking the decision. I again bring my favorite example. Nicholas Nelka, Premier League tells me, hey, you know that he still has a 3-match ban. We discuss it. We go to the AIFF. The AIFF even clears it. But I know, or I knew, and I told my management, if I play Nicholas Anelka on the 12th of October 2014 against Atletico de Kolkata in the opening match of the Indian Super League, we will get in trouble with FIFA and the Premier League. Very, very simple, right? So if you don't do your homework, don't blame it to other people that you have not done your homework, right? And I know this case. That's why I've been in this situation, and I took the decision which was right at the time. It hurt us, but it was the right decision to take. These people, either knowingly or unknowingly, have taken decisions which are wrong. That is the thing which we need to talk about, right? And this has not been talked about. Do you think India never learned that they keep on repeating it, the same, stuck in a loop? One word about Maidan football fans. Morally, we're not even a loop. At the moment, the loop is not even a loop. The loop is going downwards. That is my problem. If we were in a loop, we would at least be going somewhere up. At the moment, we're not in a loop. We're going down. We're going drastically down. That is my concern, right? And Maidan football fans is an example with a lot of football fans. It's like at the moment, right? People are still trying to justify what Namdhari has done. And there is nothing to justify. There is nothing to justify, Ranjit. Nobody has a justification. They have done wrong, period. Get it over and done with. You guys have started to try and rig the system because you don't want to play fair. Simple as that. You want to cheat, right? At all levels. You don't want to play fair. Punjab FC played a great game. Happy to see the coach staying another season. Good for Indian football. We need quality coaches. Good battle. FC Goa was Punjab FC quarter. Yeah. The Paris, honest. You can see how he's feeling. You can hear how he feels. He's working hard, and yeah, it's good. And Goa, yeah, Manolo has a good team, and let's see. Goa was Punjab. Goa to me would be favorites. Well, let's see if Punjab can trouble them. Will it? Well, it's also another Greg sign of 7 form for ISO 2 because he's became old, not there to play for season. Good for him. What opinion on Jackson? How will they pull off this? I don't know what the 7th foreigner signing is at the moment in regard to if you're not playing ACL properly. Again, that was last season. And Jackson Irvine, to me, again, if they pull it off, wow. Jackson Irvine is injured at the moment. And to me, captain of St. Pauli in the Bundesliga, knowing the figures that you know, it's yeah, it's a question of how can they entice him to join, right? So therefore, for me, that's going to be the question, and yeah, not sure if it makes sense for him to leave Germany for now, being also Australia captain. Can these cases lead to another FIFA event for Indian football? Yes, it can, man. If FIFA takes notice, you know, and they will at some stage, then it's going to be a problem. Did you see Sagar giving a platform to Messi again, and he's stating how he's fighting the evils of Indian football? No, I don't watch that kind of content. Honestly, that's also what I call on you. You're giving them clicks and views. You're giving them exposure, guys. Don't watch it. You know, don't watch it. He is the evil. He's not fighting evil. He's part of the evil of Indian football. He's not fighting the evils. He has installed some of these evils himself, right? So let's ask that. You got us the last ban. You are not the messiah of Indian football. You're the destroyer of Indian football. Let's call him what he is, right? So what's the amount of bank card wants to give to play in ISL? 100 crores is what has been so far. Joe Morrison said, whatever big star you big in league, unless you don't spend big money on grassroots, you're going nowhere. We are galaxy miles away from it. Yeah, that's true. How far food plays important role in football? Can a vegetarian survive football? Morally, it depends on your body constitution, depends on your diet. Sunil, for example, is a vegan now, right? But I know other players who like their protein intake. So it's there is no one thing that fits all. Hi, Ishan. Given the disappointment in Indian football, we should discuss international football and sports in general as well, don't you think, sir? Oh, Ishan, there's still so much of Indian football to discuss, even international football. There's so much of things happening which are wrong, but, you know, that's the thing. Do India as country over the years fail to build strong foundation across all sorts reflect in big arena? Yes, Murali. Another, I think AIFF is lost case. Okay, Kumar. People easily comment things like clean up the system, but realistically it will take decades to filter out the system, and I don't think anybody got the patience until all the frauds get out of system. See, Renal, to speak out and say something is relatively easy. To do something, to act, right? That is something that we need, and that is not happening, right? We are in a system where we talk, oh, this is bad, that is bad, this needs to be done, that needs to be done, oh, this is this, that, right? Great. What are you doing for that? I can at least say that I've tried and did my things over the years trying to help improve. So therefore we are where we are, but it's getting worse. That's also a reality. When you think that with time we would move forward, no, we're not moving forward. We're actually moving backward. And that is my big concern at the moment with Indian football. How do you see team walking away from the field due to unjust decision by referee? Not done. Wrong decision. Football is not done. You know, do you grow up as a Bagan or East Bengal fan? Sterling, I'm born and brought up here in Germany. So my first teams to support were my hometown team. At that time, not FC Remscheid, but that was BVL, not Achtlittringhausen, which became FC Remscheid later on, and then Bayern Munich as well. And family-wise, root-wise, supported East Bengal. Hypothetical question: if I was introduced during Vijayan time, things would be different. Murali, I don't know. These hypothetical questions are nice to ask, but you never know. You know, different time, different era. I have no clue. Any point you're involved in heated argument for saying truth or waking up the illusion of morality? Often, number of times. I've had arguments with people. I've told people and tell people on the face, I don't care, right? What is the reality or not? Sir, please make a video on Interkashi squad and what changes they can make for next season. Gozari, at the moment, you need to know where they need to go, right? At the moment, I don't even know if they're an I-League team or an ISL team, and then we can talk about what is right, what is wrong. At any point, even if football running chaos, horror, and comedy, Murali, it's been the last 2.5 years where it's become this bad. It wasn't the best. Let's be honest about it. Indian football was never the best in the world, but it was running, you know, and you know. Kuba Mitchell wants to play Bangladesh. Okay, stop. Yeah, there's a lot of players who are considering of playing for Bangladesh at this moment, or even Sri Lanka on the other side. We need more derbies, just like Bengal has many clubs. We need the same in Goa, Northeast Kerala, which would be better for increasing football atmospheres in India. Mike, I'll tell you an example. We at some stage in the NFL or I-League used to have 3 or 4 teams from Goa. We even had 3 teams from Mumbai, and those derbies were worth nothing. To have derbies is nice, but what is his real impact depends on the clubs. So therefore, yeah, certain derbies work, a lot of derbies won't work. What do you think Bangladesh football was going to right direction according to France foreign player team? It's that Bangladesh is trying to build a competitive team, right? And yeah, Bangladesh at the moment, at least it seems like the BFF is doing a lot of things right. Do you think Indian football is more fall down than Shanshan? At the moment, yes. Do you think Brozon will or should leave East Bengal? I thought he should stay, but not sure from my outside view. Roshan, I would have said before yesterday, should stay because it looked like he was building something, he was creating something. But yesterday was, you know, he had 2-3 weeks to work with this team, but this team was, I don't know I don't know where to start. I think at the moment I would rather trend towards saying that, you know, that if East Bengal wants to do a restart, maybe it shouldn't be there. It should be a new coach coming in. Disappointing Odisha FC players missing out such open goals, not 1, not 2, but 5 clear chances. A lot of the players didn't even look serious, many of the Indians in the team, and these players want to get into national team. Yeah, I mean, Prithviraj, the problem here is very, very simple, is at the end of the day, the quality of the players, right? And that's the, you know, so I don't know what is going to happen. Indian football down the drain, says, yeah, Dark Knight, it looks like. As per sources, letter demanding no relegation I-League will be presented through scooter service. Look, that's the whole point at this moment, to create chaos, to try and stay in the I-League. Do you think AIFF went with the safest choice, fully expecting CAS to overturn their verdict? That way the blame will not fall on AIFF regarding manipulation favoring a side. Shomo, that appeals committee and the AIFF is not the same, right? You're calling the AIFF. The AIFF has nothing to do with the appeals committee per se, right? So the appeals committee, I don't think understands that where they've put this, because they got themselves also in trouble with that now. Is Vijay supporting Chobe or against? He keeps changing his outlook every day. Sterling, at the moment, he's against, clearly against. Why doesn't IFF schedule Super Cup during the regular ISL season? Imagine KFC lost yesterday, the new matchup would have to wait till similar to start his project. PC Game Attack, again, it was supposed to be held and then it wasn't held, and then, you know, a lot of things, right? So outside Indian football, what do you think? Wirtz leaving this summer, Leverkusen. Lakshmi, it depends on a few factors. I think the first factor is if Xabi Alonso is leaving and going to Real Madrid. That's the first one, which is a possibility. And the second is if Wirtz is happy with whatever then happens at Leverkusen, or even if he's, I would have thought a few weeks ago that he will stay. And to me, I feel now more and more he's going to leave. And the interesting part will it be Bayern? Will it be Real? Will it be Man City? Let's wait and see what happens. Do you know anything about Mohammedan's new foreign recruit? Apparently, they have already had talks with the South American offensive player to replace Greg. No, Shomo, I'm actually not really tracking the transfer market. Also, there's this rumor about this the Vanuatu centre back who's supposed to replace Tom Aldred, who's supposedly leaving. That's the only thing I think I've heard about Mohammedan clearly. But again, rumors are rumors, and if we don't, again, let's wait and see. So in reality, how much has Minerva Academy produced national team player? He happens again, like next Dortmund Academy itself. Has he produced any player of Asian level, of Sunil Chetri's level, of Baichung Bhutia's level? I think none of these answers are a yes. So then that answers your question. Did you find certain say something and their actions another direction? Did you find those kind of course, Murali. That's the biggest problem in Indian football. Pothiraj, as a reply to Sterling Bajaj, is hypocrite and opportunist Pro Max. He falsely accused Odisha government for not making Kalinga available for whenever AFC Cup match. He didn't give money that was agreed for the match. Yeah, again, whenever something wrong happens to him, everybody is to blame, not him. Can a new AIFF regime stabilize the situation? Then it depends who that is. That to me is the question. With the right people, yes, it can be. But there needs to be massive changes. Any player you wish to see playing for India but unfortunately couldn't sustain long? Yeah, Murali, there are. Yeah. I've spoken about this striker, no? Lalampuya, 2 decades back, right? So therefore, yeah. Indian player work most time in gym, but Hamza should push a players are flying. Yeah, Murali. Is CAS a costly affair? Can we argue our own self? No, you can't argue your own self. You need CAS law, except if you're a lawyer, I think, but you need to be, you have to know something about sports law, I think, and yes, it is a costly affair. Can we say CAS problem solving international sports issue can intervene if election not done properly? Yes, they can, Murad. Thoughts on Boris as a fullback? I keep thinking his physicality will bring him down, but he keeps proving me wrong. Sterling Boris has always been that way, but the question with Boris is to me is he a fullback or is he an attacking winger? And he's somewhere in between. I think Boris would be the perfect player if you're playing a 3-5-2 or a 3-4-2-1 or whatever sort of system. Yeah. Manchester United versus Olympic Lyon. What a match. Yes, Murali, it was. If Ranjit Bajaj was such a saint and keeps arguing for 3 months, Ranveer as future, who's ready to give up passport, but won't sign him or play him in any of his team. Very good. Now, again, I feel sad for the boy, right? Because that became a PR story rather than a real opportunity for 3 months to try and showcase himself in India. Yeah, opportunity lost, I guess, for him as a footballer, right? Right, nearly 45 minutes on this Monday evening, on Easter Monday here in Germany. It's a holiday. We've had 2 matches today in the Kalinga Super Cup. FC Goa winning 3-0 against Gokulam Kerala, Ika Guruchena hat-trick, and Punjab FC winning 3-0 against home side Odisha FC. That's, to me, is a big upset. And if you're liking the discussion, if you're liking the conversation, do leave a like behind, share it with other people. 14 likes so far, thank you very much. And if you want to come back for more content, do subscribe to the channel. Yesterday we crossed the 2,500 mark, so thank you very much for that as well. I know the current AIFF is bad, but do you think this Bajaj guy makes the situation much worse? Yes. Yeah. What should FC Goa do to replace Manolo, and what should be the plan forward? Simply saying, find an appropriate coach. Now that's going to be FC Goa's challenge now. Manolo has set a certain standard, in the sense of that Manolo has been able to take them regularly into the semis, but Manolo has not been able to take FC Goa to the next level, in my opinion, in regard to getting them into finals and getting them to win. So therefore, the Super Cup is going to be very interesting if you can actually get them further than in the past. So that would be my observation in regard to that. A coach who plays according to the styles of FC Goa, I would say, which is attacking football, which is flair football. I think one of the teams which has some sort of style. And we've seen so therefore, that's what I would say. And again, maybe go a little bit more Spanish again, with Armando Sadico, with Drazic. You sort of left your Spanish touch thing. At least a little, I feel. I think that would be better for FC Goa if they sort of go back a little to that, I would think. Biggest illusion you find with Indian football, even you say it, one or people are angry with you. That we were not as good as we thought we were in the 50s and 60s. The older guys used to get angry with me, but I always said, like, guys, and Bob Houghton used to say that, how many World Cups did we play? How many Asian Cups have we won? Playing Olympics, the India missed the bus in the 50s and 60s. The world moved to the World Cup, Asia moved to the Asian Cup, and we were playing Asian Games, and still Asian Games. We saw 2 years ago the craze about the Asian Games. We've not understood that the Asian Cup is much more important than such a useless Asian Games competition. Do you think PR is making ordinary into extraordinary? How PR is powerful? Yes, I mean that's the whole thing, right? With PR, influencers, people, can say things whatever want. What makes a league world class? Money, player, or goodwill? Murali, there are a lot of factors which make a league world class. The quality of the players, surely, the coaches, the infrastructure, the overall, the media, the broadcast, of course, the finances as well, right? You find certain people are arrogant who are running Indian football. Yeah. Sir, RB argue FSL give 50 crore in exchange of broadcast right. If FSL wants sharing basis model, what if SA can give in return? AIFF may very well run the league on its own. They're not giving 50 crore in exchange for broadcast rights. Who said that? Those are the commercial rights. The broadcast rights are a big zero, right? And AIFF may run the league on its own. Do you realize that the AIFF can't even run the I-League? How are they going to run an ISL? Who do you think will be long-term successor to Manuel Neuer? What about Schmidt? He has thought of Schmidt? Who Schmidt? He's thought of Max Schmidt. Normally I would have said Ter Stegen would be, and then Jonas Obich is doing well at the moment at Bayern. It's an open thing. It's a very interesting question for Germany to find. By the way, what do you think about Oscar? Didn't like his attitude about his players after losing. Like, yes, they played very bad, but in my opinion, he had enough time, should have done better. As I said, Blue, a little earlier, I know Oscar a little bit, and you could feel the frustration speaking out of him. I think he's tried a lot. The squad didn't give him what he wanted of the squad. I think that's the point that he was trying to get across. And it's to me, he threw the team under the bus, even though he said, I don't want to blame any individual, but it was at the end of the day for him, it was like, threw the foreigners under the bus, tried to shield the Indians a little bit. But I think everybody was to be blamed for this game, for this loss, and it was just pathetic. And again, yes, he did have time, but this is not a good team. It might be good team on names on paper, but it's not a good squad. It's not a homogeneous team. That's the problem. Meghalaya is trying to invest in their football. Do you think RYFC can tap into Shillong with the help of Meghalaya FA? Yeah, why not? But again, the question is, what will Reliance Foundation do if Reliance per se move out of football? Drazic was impressive today. I think he has another year to go. I think he can really do well next season. Sterling, he has had on and off performances, and he's, for example, for example, conceded that goal which Sunil scored for BFC to win that game. So therefore, I'm not convinced that he's really of that level. Will this Indian team can defeat Bangladesh team with origin players? I think 3 players are already in their team. If India not qualify for Asia Cup, there is no Asian competition in the near future. France, I honestly don't know. To be very honest, Bangladesh is trying to fix their OCI contingent, or players of origin contingent, sorry, I should say. Then it's the Indian national team is gonna be a tough one. FC Goa today, Dio Moraes, Gokulam Kerala, and showed the difference between ISL and I-League, and is a very big, bunch of did it. I disagree. I think FC Goa's level is way above ISL standard. I don't think so, Sterling. I don't think that is way above. They are an average. I think the standards. What's the ISL level? That would be my question. Right? And the ISL level has come down this season. Mohun Bagan didn't win because they were the great team. Mohun Bagan won because of individual brilliance, and the others were just not good enough. And FC Goa belongs to that pack. So it seems like if they pull out, will they completely stop grassroots work? If that's the case, I don't really think we will see India being decent at any level. No, I'm not saying they're going to pull out completely, but I don't know how Reliance Foundation will act and try to do something in football if Reliance per se pulls out of football. Ornavada, I still think IWL wasn't the right move, especially for an organization that's facing severe cash crunch. Sorry. Tobo, I don't agree on that. I think the IWL was right. The only thing is that, is it right for us to have that many foreigners in the league? Because as in the men's game, key positions even in the women's teams are not taken up by foreigners. And they decide matches. And that's, is it helping? Is it not helping? At the moment, our women are not getting better. Can we say Uzbekistan rising in Asia? They are going to replace Saudi. Murali, we spoke earlier. Someone asked the question about, is Uzbekistan going to replace Iran? I'm not sure if Uzbekistan is going to replace anybody at this stage. Let them go their way up. At this moment, So does exposure youth tournament like Next Gen Cup or Youth National Team training? It's a yes. It's quality opposition which you normally wouldn't play. How is it that RFL do well in world-class tournaments, but where are these players? Where did RFDL play in world-class youth tournaments? And that I think answers your point. They're not playing world-class youth tournaments. If FSDL do continue to run ISL and with no fixed franchise fee for majority of the clubs, do you see any club breaking even in near future? No. Because they need the money from the television rights. Right? Do you think Pritham Kotor is underrated or doing different from other players? Yeah, Murali. We've asked this question a few times. Pritham is a good player, quality right back of his generation, commitment. Doesn't Bajaj deserve credit for the Gothia Cup success? Isn't that one of the top youth tournaments? But then why do these players not reach senior potential? Sterling, as your earlier question, you're not playing world-class tournaments. Gothia Cup is not world. Gothia Cup is a grassroots tournament. We are playing with, so to say, professional academies against part-time ragtag teams. If you want to watch world-class uh, tournaments. Let's say play the Dallas Cup. This Coffee Cup is not world class. When can we expect the handball announcements? Ishan, I hope in the next few days. I don't know, but it'll happen. That's sure. Playing against big will improve our team, or we will lose confidence because we lose heavily. It could be both, no? It could try, and if you get a good result, it raises your, mentality. But if you lose heavily, it could be the counterproductive thing. Sorry, I meant Reliance for the new champs. They played tournaments in Japan, took by some of the best in Asia. Play tournaments. Are they playing in those leagues that these teams play week in, week out? Yeah. So, who in the AIFF has impressed you for a change over the years? I would say the earlier two secretaries, Albert Colasso, Kushal Das, Sunanda Dhar, Nilanjan, how he used to manage the media. So, yeah, there are quite a few of them who've done well, in my opinion. Super Cup games look so dull at the end of the season, so it is uncertain, but it's hard to watch. Okay, Ishan. How highly do you rate the Next Gen Cup in terms of youth football? Not at all. It's a PR tournament for the Premier League. Sorry to break a bubble. Sorry, Putiraj, I take this first. I forgot. World Cup is played by many regional school teams and Sunday League teams as well. So do you see any club or academy taking part in it? Simple question, yeah. But 16 defeated Barcelona B1. No. When did he beat Barcelona B? You give him credit for that. He sold his academy, great, but the results are not. What happened to Albert Cross with some bribery charges? Were they valid bribery charges? I know of none. Let's put it this way. But even if they are, let's put it this way, even if there are bribery charges against Albert, I will, on the other side, still give him the credit for the work he's done. I mean, remember when he started as secretary, the AIFF office used to be a small, dingy room at the Nehru Stadium in Fatorda. In his time, via Mr. Dasmunsi, via the FIFA Forward program, Football House was built and all these things, right? So therefore, yes, all these guys are not saints, but at least they did some work. So like UEFA Youth League, does AFC has or plan to launch content in youth leagues? Utsav, not that I know of. Coach says Kushal has a certain vision. He's such a professional guy. Yeah, Morali. Kushal was a professional man. Minerva can beat the Barcelona, can take part in MENA Cup in Dubai. Not sure if it was the best team or what. Okay. So Minerva Academy beat the Barcelona Academy from Dubai. Not La Masia. Anything close. So they could have played, I don't know, the old Barca Academy in Gurugram. Mumbai or Bangalore. Do you think be careful and recognize your heroes or else you will become villain? Yeah. Murali. Yes. Big danger. If state affairs are one of the main pillars which hampers in your football system, Renal, it's the state affairs to some extent. It is but even more to me is the clubs and the academies. They need to do the work. The state affairs and the AIFF only give you the structure. And if they don't give you the structure, you still need to try and build the structure. And that's what these are not doing. All those youth competitions are worthless when players are not scouted for further development. Yeah, but those youth competition titles are even worthless because the players, you've signed players to win at under 15 level, under 16 level, and to talk about it, right? You're not signing these players to push these players to become professionals at the top. There was Barca Academy in Dubai. That's as serious as Boca Juniors or the Barca License Academy was in Bangalore. These football coaching centers owners pay clubs for name. Yeah, very well said, Puthiraj. Very late, but I suddenly remember that we had Trevor Sinclair as the set piece coach for Asian Cup. But was that a normal appointment? I don't know if it was a normal appointment, but yeah, how much did it bring us would be my question. Diamond Harbour, with the political backing, are trying to play their I-League matches next season of football similar in Diamond Harbour. Show more. If they can, great. If they can play in that part of the city, why not? Do you think people don't know what goes behind the scenes? People are unaware? Yes, Moral. I think, with all due respect to everyone who's watching, who's listening, I think a lot of people think they know, they understand. And you guys try to keep track of what's happening, but you don't really know what's happening in the background in football. And even I don't even talk about, all the things that are happening in the background. So that's the reality of things. Indian football is much more complex, is much more of a mess than we want to talk about, and that's the reality of things, right? That's the brutal reality of things in Indian football. Do you think the new constitution draft can help us out? Karan Shobit did his best job to make us the worst. No, the constitution is another part of the problem. Why don't our coaches try their luck in second, third divisions of Southeast Asian countries? Why would they sign an Indian coach, even as an assistant or as a second assistant coach? Ishan, think it from the other side. Don't put your Indian glasses or your India hat on. Think it from the other side. Is why would someone take on an Indian in a role in a club? Simple question, right? So, yeah. I heard AIFF paid State FA 12 lakh for league. Is that real or a joke? But the AIFF doesn't have that money to pay 12 lakhs to State FA for leagues. They do give grants, but I'm not sure if that's, So how can a state federation generate enough money so that they don't rely on AIFF money and operate state tournaments effectively? They can't rely on AIFF money also, right? I mean, if they're relying on AIFF money, that's the first mistake. Sorry. They can't rely on that, right? They need to raise money of their own. And that is then having a good state league, generating through television rights to sponsors. Is Kerala Super League model a good model to follow in state level? Utsav, it's already a failed model. So no, it's not. So one thing people misunderstand about Indian football. That is easy to fix with all its problems. It's a very complex thing, right? It's a very complex situation that one has to remember. How things run and operate. And Indian football is a very complex beast on that front. What's if you're on a German football taking out the result orientation youth section? Roshan, they're trying out new things, multiple goals and other things. Let's see how it works. Have attended CAS? No, I've not attended CAS. It's really sad that our ISL teams don't even reach ACL 2 level. More possible any big signings this year to compete ACL 2. I wish KRCC even Super Cup. There are more fans in stadium than will be noticed in Asia. Nobody cares how many fans come. Chance. Who will notice? Why? Because the stadium is full. The others are full stadiums as well. And they're playing Champions League in Indonesia or in Malaysia or in Thailand or in Singapore even. No? I heard that Aniket Yadav is in talks with clubs like Selangor and Shivang of Malaysian Super League. It happens. How would you rate it? By the Selangor is going to play ACL2 next season. Is he really talking to them? Again, you say you heard. How much has Aniket played in the last 2-3 years? Those would be. And again, do you think that Selangor will, the level that they play, the foreigners that they sign, that they would sign someone like him rather than signing, I don't know, a player from Europe? So just think from the other side. It's a nice story, and it's nice that people have put it out there. And I would hope that he would get there, but I have my doubts. Do you think so many people are advice givers but not action takers? Yes, Murali. So which league does ICA23 or B team play? Is there any dedicated league for them? Reliance Foundation Development League is our reserve league. So that's where the teams supposedly play. Right, 1 hour and 5 minutes on this Monday evening. If you haven't liking the conversation, do leave a like behind. 16 so far. Thank you for that. Share with others as well. And if you are new to the channel, you're listening, do leave a subscription behind. We crossed the 2,500 mark yesterday. Thank you very, very much for that. And yeah, we try and keep on growing here. And yeah. Watch the short videos that I try to make. Let's keep on growing. I was shocked. Japan football development process. Okay, Morali, the Japanese are organized. Ishan says, unpopular opinion, but I think our fans don't even know how to create a good atmosphere except Kerala. I think we need to sing and cheer for the whole 90 minutes, not just doing promising attacks and goals. Yeah, but even in Kerala, that's the case, right? On a match day where the Blasters are not doing good, and I've seen that myself. Yeah. What quality is missing with current player compared to past later and apart from technical? Well, if you take the technical out, then you're missing the biggest part. Technical is the biggest problem. Other things, of course, is the mentality, the spirit, the passion. Yeah, those are all things. Is there an automatic extension clause in the MRA? Why can't FS still use that? No, there is no automatic extension clause, Nadeem. I would not have believed it if it was Johor Darul Tazim, but Zelangor can be because they usually don't have that amount of liberty for spending good money on foreigners. Yeah, but even if you're spending money on foreigners, would you sign an Indian? Just think from their side. I'm not thinking, yeah, if he does, great, but I'm skeptical of all of this. I want to be proven wrong that he actually signs for them, and then I want to see how much is he going to play. Do they have U18-16 league and afterwards just only reserve league Utsav? You've got an under 17, under 15, under 13 league system under AIFF. But Janaka has not been getting that much of game time. Yeah, that's the problem. J-League has some good quality matches. Well, J-League matches are amongst the best in the league. So any news if Argentina are coming to Kerala Utsav? I have no idea. And I'm honest, I'm not interested if Argentina is coming or not. That's the waste of our time, that if Argentina is coming or not, that's not going to be changing anything for football. Consonant said in past we had warrior mentality, especially the player fighting attitude. Yeah, morally, that is missing at the moment. So even Premier League faithful admit that Bundesliga games are probably the best atmosphere in Asia. I think I make enough money in life to watch a Bundesliga game live in stadium. Yeah, Ishan, Premier League atmosphere is, let's not talk about it. Compared to a Bundesliga game, yeah, I know you don't mean Asia, you mean Europe. I think anywhere in the world, I think that in general, if you want a league, forget Bundesliga. Even Bundesliga 2, the atmosphere will be better than in the Premier League or in the La Liga or Serie A or Liga, or you take the South Americans in, the Mexicans in. So therefore, yeah. How good was Boca Juniors? Boca Juniors is one of the top teams in Argentina and South America, so they're good. So views on Rajasthan United have done something amazing with it. Yuvraj, new owners seem to have spent some money, seem to have brought some structure, and now the question is, can they take it to the next level? I think that's the challenge now for Rajasthan United, and stabilize in the I-League, and yeah, maybe push for more in 2-3 years' time. I think that would be the challenge for them, right? So therefore, for me, yeah, they've done quite well for themselves, right? So therefore, that's something looking at Rajasthan United. Right, an hour 10 plus minutes, 70 minutes plus in this live on a Monday evening. Once more reminder, do come and watch the shorter videos that I try and make. And if you want to come and see them. And 14 years since watching football, sir, being a Liverpool fan, I was always amazed watching Bundesliga atmosphere. Yeah, again, it is something exceptional compared to what you have in other leagues, and it's built up. No, it's not, as I say, it's not just the Bundesliga. It can be even the second, third tier, can even go down to the fourth tier depending on the teams. How do you answer the argument that Bayern Munich won 9 sheets in a row? Other fans say Bundesliga, they won. They've won 11 in a row, and yes, Bayern is the dominating team in Germany. But that doesn't speak about the atmosphere and the quality of the league. Even the Premier League has been often a one-league team, despite, Man City has been winning it a lot. Look at this season, Liverpool has been champions, I don't know, for 3 months, 4 months. So in that way, even the Bundesliga was open till now, this just concluded weekend. Spain is a 2.5 team league. So therefore, most of these leagues have. PSG have been winning most of the time. Italy most probably is the most interesting one, but is it really interesting to watch Italian football? I know there are some fans of it, but I'm not. So how Saudi government indirectly runs football club? Could a state government run a club? Is it possible? The Saudi government is not running it. They own the Saudi Sovereign Provident Fund, but Provident Investment Fund, the PIF, but they don't run the clubs. They're not involved with the running of the club. So no, they don't. Don't you think RFDL, if it expands the youth league, will help us, or will this playing style of players still remain same? Angry Birds, it doesn't matter if RFDL organize it or the AIFF organize the youth leagues. That doesn't make a difference. It's about what the quality of the players is that is coming through the system. That's the question, right? So therefore, for me, that's the challenge that we need to look at, and we need to find a solution to those things. So how is the football culture in Europe and US different from each other in your observation? America is more of like India, more of like entertainment driven than sports driven. Europe is more about sports. So that, I would say, would be the key question about difference in culture. Joe Morrison said, problem bring foreign coach adopting certain style. We don't have those quality players. Can also not be. Look at the way, for example, coaches like Manolo have developed players. So yeah, can be, doesn't have to be. Even the third and fourth division in Germany is great, and we say thanks to Legacy Club. Yes, there are some old traditional teams who have fallen down. I think a good example at the moment, MSV Duisburg here in the Regionalliga West. Can't a state government have a shell company to run a football club? No, don't think so. Away European nights in Germany were scary, sir. We felt like Ando Magana Raja being spoken about Anfield atmosphere in England. Yeah, Yuvraj. Again, it is on a different level here than it is in England, and yeah. Can ISL matches get 1 crore live viewers per match? Why not? Yeah, why not? Would be my point, but again, you have to do something for that. De Bruyne said nobody watched cricket. Yeah, but what's the problem with that? Kevin De Bruyne said, what is the fact? I mean, he's a Belgian who's been living in England for X years, and there is cricket over there, and he's not interested in the sport. I remember Maria Sharapova was asked, do you know Sachin Tendulkar? And Sachin Tendulkar was next to her, and she didn't know who he was. How would you know a Canadian ice hockey player? for example, right? So therefore, these discussions are utterly useless. It's in India, people are so obsessed now with cricket that anyone who doesn't know cricket is all bad. And like Kevin said, the state of the fact. People are trying to establish cricket here in Europe, and it never be established. I can tell you now, it will not happen. So, views on funding of Diamond Harbour FC, they already started splashing money. Yuvraj, again, if you want to talk about funding, I think we can talk about a lot of teams across the system in India. And yeah, if those guys wanna splash money on football and want to have a football club, why not? Right? At least someone is putting money into it. So I see it from that perspective, and therefore for me, that's a better thing than not spending money at all. So therefore, that is something. So yeah, that's something that we yeah. When India dominates hockey, but not ice hockey. Yeah, but India dominating hockey, those days are gone, and India has an ice hockey team, but yeah, that's a different story. Remember the Maria controversy? All cricket fans were like, "Who's Maria?" And I said, "Okay." And that you're right. That shows you the ignorance of the people, in the sense of that they don't understand the fact. It's something of that your sports stars don't need to be sports stars in some other country. Why don't you think cricket won't work in Europe? Utsav, it's not interesting enough for people over here. I can't give you but people are just not interested in the sport, and if they're not interested in the sport, yeah, like football is not working in India. Zero, Lelouch, football is working in India. It is, with all its problems and all its downfalls. Indian football is still the number 2 sport in India. Cricket is way ahead. Let's not compare it to cricket. But Indian football is actually a big sport in India. Football is a big sport in India. So therefore, that comparison doesn't work. Most would have to say, cricket in Europe is like ice hockey in India. It's non-existent, right? Whatever people want to say. Inter-Kashi fans yesterday fooled everyone in the space, saying in Rio Krishna FC versus Rajasthan United match, unnecessary cards were given to Matan Raina and Navin Gurung, and they got suspended versus Churchill. Okay. I saw the repainters were clear yellow cards. Okay. What do you think cricket won't? I've said that bring solid foundation should be aim of sports minister, not top 50. Yeah, Murray, that is the job of the sports minister is not to bask in Olympic gold glory, and no, the job of the sports minister is to ensure that you lay the groundwork so that can build the sport in a way to be more successful. Other FC going good in this market. Hope New Delhi suits them well. Let's see what happens. Again, let's see when they do the shift. Are they doing it this summer? Are they doing it next year? I don't know. Similarly, I again watched Churchill versus Lajong, 2 red cards. Tushang was second yellow and were deserving. These Kashi fans misleading. Okay, Nadeem, that's your opinion. What about boxing athletics? Are interested in Europe? Nah. Niche sports. And they do not watch badminton. Good evening, Aditya. This game they call football, why is it so heartbreaking? Because Aditya, sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. I heard that BC General Group of Hyderabad want football stadium in Delhi for more fan engagement. Nice. But again, it's either that they revamp the Ambedkar Stadium themselves with the help of the municipality. I think that's going to be the question for them to answer. And then let's see what they can do. The fun fact in cricket, you say where you're the interest, they ask, is it like baseball? Yeah, In America, which has been sold as a huge success, it is a diaspora sport. It's amongst Indians. My little knowledge about handball in Germany that the players are normally pretty physical. It was difficult in India to scout players, or am I missing something? Roshan, from a German, from a European standpoint, it is, yes, they're tall, they're physical. In Asia, they aren't that much, and yeah, again, so it is, the Indians would have to get better if they want to come up to the European level, but I think we can get them at least to nation level. That is, I think, the first step. When I looked aside, I saw players like Luka Machin and others were sitting beside me. I got happy as I thought we have a chance to win since no senior players. And I hate my life. Yeah, but that's football. How far handball reached globally? Murali, it's first of all the big, handball is mainly a European sport, and it's growing in certain pockets. Brazil has been growing, and some parts of North Africa, some parts of Asia. So let's see. No, globally, it's not a big thing, but let's see. They're trying to grow it. Saw the controversial yellow and subsequent red card to Namdari's initial foul. He got the ball and wasn't a yellow. He was elbowed by the Real Kashmir player seconds ago, and no foul was given, I guess, was the thing. Yeah, but Nadeem, now we're going into what was right, what was wrong. Again, if someone else was watching it, he will say that it was different. But the cards have been given, right? So if the cards are given and they're not resending the cards, then there's no discussion of that. It's nice that you're taking the time to watch all of this, but what are we going to talk about, right? By the way, sir, in my opinion, all fiasco started after AIFF started reversing decisions in appeals committee after matches. Many times it was just to please the club, so on ISA and I became out of hand. Yeah, I agree. And that's become the problem. The red card against the Delhi FC goalkeeper, clearly red card, right? And that red card was turned into yellow. So that's the joke that has happened. But sir, the football is more popular in urban crowds, and on above that, they follow European teams. Even if it's a second watch sport, it's a small percentage. Utsav, no, it's not. Go to some of, this is also a misconception. And European football is not as big as you think. Football has also become a very, very, so that's the problem. So, yeah. PFC shows the real Spanish type of gameplay. KSG referees made better decisions than the disciplinary committee, even right decision. And dude, that is a very good point that you have raised, which I also saw and felt that there were some decisions where I thought, okay, look good, but why is the referee now interfering? Why is the disciplinary committee interfering and changing it? So that's the question. Gilly Danda or Goli Danda, if it was Ruby, can easily be number one sport in the world. Can we say Ruby also not reached European compared to Australia and USA for New Zealand season? Ruby? What do you mean by Ruby? I had a similar issue with my cousin. He's a diehard Barcelona fan. Asked me about India versus Bayern in 2011. I told it was Bhutia Farewell, and he asked, who is Bhutia? He knows Chetri, Chingan, Sahal. Then I asked him on average, he didn't know. He was 15 at the time. Yeah, Nadeem, that's a problem, right? They know, again, there's a class of or fans of football who rather know the European players, the big names, than rather knowing our players. So therefore, yeah, it was a problem, is a problem, and most probably will remain a problem. Can we say Syria is a tough team to beat? Even top teams struggle. They beat some crazy number. Yeah, morally, they can be a tough team to beat. No one is talking about Nepali refs game. Oh, blue. Very simple. Why was the match commissioner changed at short notice for that game? Where did the Nepali refs? Why aren't we talking about the goal which was given for Churchill, which wasn't a goal? A lot of discrepancies in the way things have been done. I mean, rugby. No, rugby is not a global sport. Rugby is big in the United Kingdom. It's big in Ireland and Scotland. They push it in France and Italy, but it's not that. It's there, but it's not that big. And then you've got Australia, South Africa, New Zealand, and then you're done. The refs seem to have redeemed themselves quite well in the latter parts of the season. I would say they're doing a good job without VR, actually. Yeah, but that's Angry Birds have been saying this throughout the season, that actually our referees aren't as bad as they are perceived to be. So therefore, for me, and therefore for me, I think our refereeing has gone up. But again, yes, they make mistakes, and those mistakes are amplified, and therefore I think there's a perception that our referees make a lot of mistakes. I went to Ambedkar for IWR News. I heard they will only relegate if Ambedkar is suitable for ISL. Their work's undergoing for last few months. At Anuj Gupta's heading, spending money on Sudeva. Okay. Ambedkar redevelopment should have been, I think it was a pre-COVID thing. I think once the metro station was done, it was supposed to redevelop. But again, I remember Akshata went there for the Super Cup, and it didn't look too promising. How could basketball in Europe compare to China? Morally, basketball Europe is better than China, but how good, I can't say. I don't watch that enough basketball to be able to judge that, how good basketball is, right? So that's that. Right, 1 hour 27 minutes plus. Trying to answer your questions as always. Once more, the reminder, if you haven't, and you're watching, 18 likes so far, please like it, share it with others to grow the community. If you haven't, do subscribe to the channel, and also watch the short videos. There are some of those which I really like to do, and then and those don't get the views. Others which one has to do, those get more views. That's always a very disappointing one. But do watch the one which I did when I asked about the accountability, ethics, and moral in Indian football, and how we can grow, and the other videos in the last few days, the whole series on my reviews of the teams. And as always, thank you for your support, and thank you for watching. Why do India consistently take bronze medal in Olympics? Is system missing compared with Europe? I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's why you get more bronze or why people finish fourth, I don't know. Someone is better than you, right? India ka agla hero kaun? Oh, Bhaskar. Honestly, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you. My hope was last year, after the end of last season, I thought Changte could be the one who could be stepping a little bit into Sunil's shoes. Changte hasn't been able to do that, if one is very, very honest. And otherwise, I haven't seen anyone who I would be saying that he convinces me that he could be, and to me, I don't have any. What will be a treat to the fans? Oh, Murali, I think these daily lives are the treat to the fans. I had a podcast a few years ago where someone said that if Indian football needs to grow, people who follow European football needs to see their local clubs and support them. Nadeem, it would be one of the many things that you would need. You would need to activate those people who are interested but not interested in Indian football. You would need to get people who are interested in football in general but don't want to watch football, maybe, who are more play football. Activated people who are not interested in football, maybe cricket fans, maybe fans of other sports. You need anyone and everyone should be your target in regard to getting them to watching football. Talking about hockey, yes, we had good legacy in hockey. Yeah, Murali, that is the past legacy. This year, AIFF has done a grave mistake of reviewing cards and reversing a decision due to appeals. This has seriously amplified their mistakes, which in turn has downgraded credibility. Yeah, but a lot of the reversing was not needed. That is, I think, the point that Blue and I were coming to, right? And to me, that's been the problem. That's been a weakness that has not strengthened the AIFF, in my opinion, and that's why we're where we are at this moment. Isco, how good was he as a player? Not even was, is Isco great technical player? Yeah. Right. So over 90 minutes of this live on this Monday, or so yeah. Wait. Rugby is a Commonwealth sport, mostly like cricket minus subcontinent. Yeah, minus subcontinent, but plus France and Italy, I would say, right? We've got the Six Nations and other things out there. And then when it says, do you think certain player that cannot replace like Brazil? Yeah, Morani. Isn't that's why we like to watch football, that we like to watch flair players, quality players who have it, yeah, that's why we wanna see quality football. Your views on our under 19 players for South? Mashkar, they've been picked after AIFF. Some of them have played ISL, and yeah, let's see what they can do. Viviano is back. Hope he gets the best out of the boys, and let's see what they can do. Next time, Arun will give cash and food as treat. Okay, Morali, are you sponsoring it for us? Thanks. In all the stadiums I have watched football in India, Ambedkar Stadium gives the best viewing experience. Yeah, it's the closest also, right? So therefore, Nadeem, I think I would say that is one of the reasons. Apart from 2002 U17 match, which was the best according to you, 2018, and the Vikram Pratap captained one. That was the best in my opinion. Right, I'll come to an end to this live on this Monday evening. Catch you tomorrow evening once more. And as I said, like, share, and subscribe arunfoot here on YouTube. Visit my other social medias, visit arunfoot.com. And also, of course, as I said, watch the short videos that I make. And yeah. And therefore, let me answer Angry Bird's question, and then I'll shut. What happened if errors counts reverse cards? For instance, just to please some clubs, and one of them is rotten to the core, but still rejecting the referee as the main reason of their downgrade. Angry Birds, the AIFF council, there's no council. The disciplinary committee is independent from the AIFF in that way, or supposedly independent. Again, that's also a question that has been now raised. But I don't know. I don't know if that's the case or not. So therefore, I can't comment on it. Right. That was the last one. As I said, like, share, subscribe, Arunfoot. I'll catch you tomorrow. Good night, everyone.